beautiful, incredible wife, Amanda Robbins. We are here chatting with you about the top 3 research-backed hacks to increase your sleep and activate peak performance. I see us live now on all of our platforms. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah! We did it.
We did it. We figured
Look
it
at
out.
us, tech geniuses.
So, where would you like to get started?
So yesterday we had a brilliant session on sleep, which is one of those things that we know we need to have more of, most of us. But a lot of people ask, how do I get better sleep? Or they just have these reasons of why they put sleep last, right? Whether it's work or social or whatever is getting in the way. Or honestly, it's just bad sleep habits. And so we wanted to share some wins today and some highlights from yesterday's Core 4 session that talked about how to optimize sleep, because sometimes it's just a matter of not knowing what you need to do to optimize sleep. But there's actually, we shared how many different tips or ideas. And I'd love to talk about like our top favorites, what's really helped us optimize our sleep.
I think we shared 20. Hold on, I'll bring up the list. I think it was like 20. Let's see, 21 tips we shared.
21 tips. So most people think, okay, I need to sleep better or more. I'm just going to go to sleep and try to sleep, and it didn't work, or it didn't happen, or I woke up. But we shared 21 tips yesterday, and we're going to just for a little bit share some of our favorites that have helped us improve our sleep and share those with you, because there were some major aha moments in that session yesterday where people realized, wow, if I implement these, there are studies that show it actually improves your sleep. And the benefits of improved sleep, which you're really great at highlighting, are not only physical recovery, where your body is actually able to release more growth hormone and repair itself and grow, replenish your energy centers, also improve your cognitive health and performance. So it helps you sharpen your focus. I don't know about you, but I definitely feel a little fuzzy when I don't get enough sleep. There's actually, I think, according to Sean Stevenson's book and the Model Health, Sean Stevenson's book, Sleep Smarter, he talks about if you get 6 or less hours of sleep, you actually start to have the same cognitive function and response as a drunk person. You're essentially drunk if you're not getting more than 6 hours of sleep. And everyone's ratio is different, right, of how much sleep that they need. But it's important to optimize yours. Also, with emotional regulation, that's another way that it helps. Again, my own personal experience, if I don't have as much sleep.
Hold on one second. I'm going to throw something in here. I think this is really important, because you said something that I think a lot of people use as an excuse.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I've ever, through college or through high school, I've ever experienced someone who's clearly drunk that comes up and says, no, I can drive, I'm fine. Yeah. And everyone around them looks them in the eye and goes, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, you're an idiot. If you do this, you are just stupid. We love you too much to allow you to go risk your life and go risk the lives of other people just because you think you're fine. And in reality, you're not. And the excuse you just threw out there was, well, all of us need different amounts.
Yeah.
That's the excuse. I'm not that drunk. It's not that bad. No. The research shows it's 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep makes the difference. If you're sleeping less than 6, you're not enough. And you going like, I'm fine. My body just doesn't need it. That's the drunk person walking around outside being like, I can make it home. Yeah. Watch, I've done it before. I got it. Leave me alone. No. Like, you need someone who cares about you enough to take your keys out of your hand and say, no, that is not okay. You need to sleep 7.5 to 8 hours. Someone has to be strong enough to stand up to you and finally get you to do what's right for you, not only your own life, but the life of the people you care about.
Yeah.
And the problem with this is someone drunk driving oftentimes will get an immediate consequence. Someone who's doing this in their health Who's going to have to pay for it is your kids. When your old ass can't function as an adult and they have to come take care of you. And this is wildly true and important to me because I've seen it happen in my own family.
Yeah.
And I get to pay the price of them not taking care of their health all those years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's not okay. And so if I have to be the friend who has courage enough to come and tell you that's not okay and take the keys out of your hand, I will be, if that's the role I need to play in your life. But stop giving people excuses, not you, but people need to stop giving themselves
it was me. It was
be like, well, we all need different amounts. I don't need that much. My body functions fine without it. Nonsense.
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you drive home drunk. I'm not going to let you function in life drunk. I will take the keys out of your hand, tell you to sit down and go get some good sleep.
Yeah.
But someone has to be willing to speak the unspoken or nothing changes.
Yeah.
We're tolerating lives where we're allowing ourselves to get by and do okay instead of really, truly experiencing what's possible. And we're allowing our friends and family to function in life in a way that's not healthy. And no one has the guts to just tell them, that's not okay. We're going to do something about this.
You were that person in my life, I'd say, in a much more loving way, but caring way, where you realized early on in our relationship, I would go, 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 go. And then I had this mantra, and I'm sure there's others here listening maybe that would say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I have so much to do. There's so much to experience in life. I'm so excited about life was my excuse. I don't want to sleep. And you would notice that every 5 days or so, I would just I would sleep for 12 hours or something crazy. I'd go on little sleep. And then eventually I'd hit a wall and just crash. And then I'd get up again and go.
The word for that now they use is burnout. You'd burn out. You'd be out of fuel. If you were a car on the racetrack, you'd be out of fuel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I use the analogy, we used it yesterday, but if you're an F1 race car and I sat down with someone, I said, you want to win the race, not just compete, not come in last place. You want to win the race. You're a high achiever. You're a peak performer. You're a leader. You're someone who wants to come in first, the gold. Mm-hmm. What's your strategy? And if someone sat down and said, well, my strategy to win the race is I'm just not going to take a pit stop. Boom. Everyone else has to stop and change tires. Everyone else has to stop and get gas. I'm just not going to stop. That's how I'll win.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but if we invested $100 million into an F1 sports team and our driver said, I'm just not going to pit stop the whole race, there's no way we'd let them be our driver. Everyone in their right mind, even if you don't know anything about F1 racing, you know that the car will not be able to functionally get through all the laps without the tires burning off, the oil running out, the engine running out of fuel. What happens? The person with the strategy that says, I just won't stop, is going to be parked on the side of the road with their engine on fire and their wheels burnt off, wondering why they don't have enough energy to get through the race. That's exactly what was happening, but you were doing it differently. You were doing 5 days without pit stopping. And then on the 5th day, your car was on fire on the side of the road, tires burned off, and you needed 12 hours in the repair shop called sleeping 12 hours to try to catch up.
Yeah.
Now you got to think about it. Yeah. Is it faster to take a pit stop that nowadays takes, 2.3 seconds to refuel the car? Or is it faster to spend 12 hours in the repair shop trying to piece and rebuild the engine that blew up? Clearly, it's faster to take a pit stop, which is part of what I lovingly shared with you of like, hey, you can either go all the way until you're out of fuel and your engine explodes and you need 12 hours in the repair shop trying to put it back together, or you can put in a pit stop every night that's a high quality pit stop, 4 new tires, full tank of gas, back to your absolute peak and best self, and you don't ever have to go spend 12 hours in the repair shop, because every night you're back fueled all the way to your peak, and you're now operating at peak performance every day instead of settling for an average broken down version of yourself. Now, we talk specifically to leaders and high performers. If you look at your mind and body and say, well, Jarek, I'm not an F1 race car. I'm more of a Chrysler minivan, maybe a 1997. Well, that's okay. We might not be talking to you. If you want to upgrade and be the Mark Wahlberg minivan, I don't know if we have a picture of it. I wish I could show you. He's got the coolest minivan I've ever seen. It's all decked out. The windows are all blacked out. He's got black chrome rims on it. The doors slide open. He's got TVs everywhere. If you want to be the Mark Wahlberg of minivans and have this decked out, minivan you drive called yourself, that's fine. But generally, our audience are peak performers. They're people who consider themselves to be an F1 type race car. They want the most out of life. They're hungry to always be learning. They're excited to keep growing. They're expanding in all different ways in their life and health and relationship and business. And because they want to operate at that peak performance level, this analogy makes a ton of sense, where they're moving so quickly through life. And, as young parents ourselves, we have a little one that requires your energy. We have each other that requires the energy. We have our families that require energy, and our business and our team and our clients and. And so this thought of, I grew up with mantras, in the 80s and 90s of, sleep is for lazy people. If you want to be successful, you sleep less and work harder. Give up 1 hour of sleep to go achieve your dreams. And all those things sounded cool, but research shows they were wrong. They were absolutely wrong. And so we started doing research. And one of the things Amanda talked about yesterday that was so, so important, and I'd love you to share, is the importance of finding a sleep role model. Because I didn't have any sleep role models. Sleep in my house was called lazy. It was called someone who's unproductive, someone who's not really giving their all, someone who's not putting their best effort forward. You're supposed to give up sleep to work more if you want to be successful. That's the key. And so I remember I sat down and I'm like, and this is a great question for everyone watching, who is a high performing person in the category of life that you want to perform in? A high performing parent, a high performing athlete, a high performing business person, a high performing investor, a high performing lover in their relationship, someone who's exceeding the results. They're doing extraordinarily well. And who's someone who's also mastered the concept of sleep. And I think Amanda shared her story where she used to say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. But who did you find? Who was your sleep role model?
So in the book Sleep Smarter, he talks about how professional athletes sleep like 9+ hours, sometimes 10, 11, 12 hours. And I found that so inspiring. Like what you said, you can take pit stops, or you can just try to get in first place and burn your car out, right? And I think we sometimes become like crazy in this thought of sleep can come later and I can get to first place. I'll just go hard and go strong. And I think that this shift that really worked for me was realizing, like, I really believe that I could. I was like, look, I'm fine. I was doing great until I hit that wall and I was like, I just need to sleep. And then I get up and go again because I thought it was working for me. There are two things that really shifted. And it was one, longevity. So even if it's working now, because for some people, they're doing okay or good enough, or they think they're even crushing it off of less than 6 hours of sleep. The truth is, though, it may be kind of working, but what if you're only scratching the surface because you're so stubborn to update that thinking? You're not thinking about your thinking, and how actually taking pit stops along the way, one, helps with longevity, and two, will absolutely boost your performance. That's the idea of slowing down to go faster, right? Slow down to go fast. So the person that really inspired this for me in the book was, I think it was either Venus or Serena Williams, one of the two. I love them both. They're amazing women and athletes. And when I read that, it was like, if the best in the world give themselves permission to sleep,
yeah,
and it's helping them become the best in the world, then yeah, sign me up. That was it. Because so often, what are we looking for? Role models that are kind of supporting our beliefs, right? Whether our beliefs are right, wrong, or whatever. And so we'll look to people like, oh, so and so only sleeps 4 or 5 hours a night. And so therefore it reinforces that belief that actually isn't serving us. Whereas if you can start to look for people that are the top of their game, that you really are aspired to be like or are inspired by, and you know their habits for success, because we can learn something from everyone, what to do or what not to do. And in this case, it was what to do and giving myself permission to sleep more, because if the best in the world and like my like girl crushes can do it and these great athletes, and I want to be a better athlete, performer, wife, lover, mom, everything, yeah, I'm going to get my sleep. And it turns out now I protect and defend my sleep like my life depends on it, because I realize not only does my life depend on it, but my mood depends on it, my relationships depend on it, my creativity, my problem solving, my strategic thinking, like it all depends on it. And I'm just a better version of myself. And like what you said, I actually get to go longer and enjoy more of life because I'm not hitting a wall whenever my body says that's enough.
That's right.
If you're not going to stop for me, I'm going to stop. I'm going to make you stop. And that was a game changer. So yeah. Do you want to dive into, go ahead. Sorry.
Roxanne is sharing. She said, so many people just don't know. It's not talked about that much. So many high achievers don't sleep much. So a lot of them take that example. I know I did. Today, though, there's other distractions, the phone, the computer. There's other issues for me that prevent me from having the ability to sleep really well. So a few tips, and just to reiterate, for those of you who might have caught this in the middle, the benefits. So physical recovery. This is where our body repairs tissue, synthesizes proteins, replenishes energy stores, crucial for physical exertion. Deep sleep releases growth hormone, promoting muscle growth and repair. There's a cognitive boost. Sleep consolidates memories, enhances learning, sharpens focus. Adequate sleep improves reaction time, decision-making, and problem solving, all vital for top performance. Emotional regulation. Sleep deprivation messes with your emotional thermostat, increasing irritability, decreasing motivation. A good night's rest keeps you calm, focused, and resilient under pressure. Stress management. Sleep acts as a buffer, lowering cortisol levels, the stress hormone, boosting your immune system. This enables better regulation of stress during demanding tasks or competitions. And so I look at the concept of sleep, hearing those and being like, wow, that's a lot more than just, I feel good in the morning. Like, this is the difference between accessing peak performance and not. This is the difference between being your best self and living your best life, or just having an average, fuzzy, brain fog filled life, trying to meander and figure out why does it not feel as good as it could. And so we took 3 tips. My number one favorite tip, and I'll share mine. It's not on this list, but it's my number one favorite tip. And it's the hardest right now based on, what Roxanne was saying, is the number one favorite tip to get better sleep is no screens 3 hours before bed. And in the world we live in, this device is how we connect with people, how we learn, how we communicate, our baby monitor camera is on it, our communication, all of our friends, everything's connected to these devices. I even have my sleep app or my sleep measurement app on my phone. And so it's wild, but I did this last night. I made a commitment that my phone will no longer be allowed in the bedroom. So I plugged it in outside in the hallway when I went to bed. And I made it a goal to say, hey, 3 hours before bed, can I have no screens, no television, no computer, no phones? And so we had a candlelit dinner last night, and then we had book reading time, and then we had time with just each other. And my sleep quality dramatically improved, even just one night of removing the devices and screens 3 hours before bed. And so my number one tip, and I think it's my number one because it's the hardest for me. It's so funny. At least I have a great book to read at this point that I'm about halfway through. But the thought of like, hey, instead of taking my phone with me everywhere, I'm going to drop it off. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to plug it in, leave it there. I'm going to go have dinner with my wife, and then I'm going to go read a book, and then we're going to go snuggle and talk and relax. And it's amazing what happened to my nervous system just saying that is going to stay over there. I am done with it for the day. Now I'm going to enjoy this moment with my wife and my book and just being. And then my sleep tracked it. I can see my sleep quality shot right up.
Love that. I'm so proud of you. I have 3 top research-backed sleep hacks for peak performance. One is prioritize a sleep schedule. Going to sleep at the same time and waking up at the same time every day helps us really get into a regular sleep-wake schedule that optimizes our body's internal clock for optimal sleep and wake cycles.
Yep.
That is definitely one of my favorites for sure. Number 2 is optimizing the sleep environment, which we've done a really great job with. Blackout curtains. It's cool. It's quiet. We have a little bit of white noise from either the AC or the air purification system. We sleep with eye mask, which I never thought I'd do, but it actually is a game changer. Now it's a cue when I put it on. It's like lights out, my body goes right to sleep. Without it, I find that it's actually a little bit harder. Number 3 is another one of my favorites. I know we said, what's your number one? I have 2, and it's the pre-sleep routine.
Yeah.
And what I've realized is if I go straight from work or conversation or something to bed, it's a lot harder to shut down. And so things we've done, such as family candlelit yoga, have helped. Journaling has helped. Putting the screens or devices out of the room or not looking at them for hours before bed, that has helped. So if I have to choose, I can't choose one. I have 2. So the sleep schedule, same time, going to sleep, waking up, I've definitely noticed a huge lift in my performance. And number 2 is the pre-sleep routine to really shut down your mind, calm your body, your nervous system. And whether it's taking a warm bath or reading a book or some candles or some light yoga, some nidra, it helps your body to know like, okay, it's time to sleep. Let's do this. That's been a game changer for me.
I love that. I think the person I saw speak about the sleep schedule was Kristen Holmes from Whoop. And she was talking at an event we were at, and she was talking about increasing her heart rate variability, which according to $1 million research study in Silicon Valley is the number one measurement for predicting longevity, according to all of the things they tried to find. And so increasing your heart rate variability, she said the number one thing that took her heart rate variability from the 30s and 40s up to 100 plus was going to bed and waking up at the exact same time every day. And I was like, what kind of miracle worker are you? How in the world do you go to sleep at the same time every day and wake up at the same time every day? Like, how do you know? My body just kind of wakes up when it wants to. And so that was such a foreign concept to me. I'm getting closer, not quite there, but I've been trying to get inside of the app I use to track it. I've been trying to get it to be more consistent on the wake up, and it actually gives you a consistency score. And I think I'm at like 89 or 80 something percent. Let me see. But it gives you an actual score of how consistent you're being in your sleep and wake time. Sleep performance, consistent 79%. So this week I'm at 79%, which is up from last week where I was only at 55%. So major increase in consistency. We were traveling last week. But she said the number one factor in getting her heart rate variability up, which is a biomarker or marker of longevity, was getting her sleep and wake time at the exact same time. And so we do this stuff. These are the types of topics we focus on, both in our Core 4 community, where it's people actively learning and practicing these tools together. But more importantly, we have a pod of Performance Coach University students starting on February 5th. And these are people who want to learn coaching tools and coaching strategies, both for the step 1 to do some self-coaching, where they use the strategy on themselves and they see their own performance increase. They see their own resilience improve. They see their own strategic approach to life enhance. And so one is self-coaching, using the tools on your own life to improve. And then the second part is coaching others. whether it's people you work with, whether it's team you lead, whether it's your family, whether it's people you love and care about, your community. It's having the right strategies and tools so that when you offer them something, they actually use it.
Yes.
When they're struggling with something, you offer them a framework and you actually help them come to the solution. You teach them how to fish instead of just handing them the fish. You guide them in the process of improving their life. But I always say start with yourself. Learn the tool and do some self-coaching on yourself first so that you get the tangible result in your own life. You become a peak performer. You become a high achiever in whatever category of life you're most focused on. And then step 2 is you're then able to guide other people in the process itself. So if you're interested in that, you can send me a direct message on any of these platforms. It just says, I want to be a coach. I said this yesterday, and I think I got 7 or 8 people who messaged me, which I'm very excited about. We're thrilled for you to come and join us if it's a right fit. Or you can go to performancecoachuniversity.com/apply. And we're handpicking the people. It is a requirement. You have to care about people and you have to care about something more than just yourself if you're going to join us. We're very picky on who we allow into our program. But we do have a cohort starting February 5th. And we wanted to mention that for people who do like peak performance and are striving to be their best selves, to invite you to come and join us.
Yeah. I love it. I love this session.
Me too. Well, cool. Thank you for joining us. Any last words, my wonderful, beautiful, incredible, amazing wife?
Yeah, I would just say if sleep, first of all, to become a coach, everything that you said, your heart being a servant heart and wanting to share and contribute to the world, to humanity, and help those around you at the highest level, join us. And 2, I would say, yeah, if you're looking to optimize sleep and you're like, help me with the sleep, message us as well. And we'll send you a link to that training that we just did yesterday. It was profound. It was incredible. And we actually have a sleep challenge going on. So if you're interested in joining us, message us, reach out. We're here to support you. And we want to see you tap into your peak potential. So
I was just exciting. We had someone raise their hand already in the comments and say, I want to be a coach.
I see that. I'm excited
for you.
Let's talk.
Let's talk. We'd love to see if it's a right fit. I'll send you the information as soon as we're done.
Awesome. Okay. Beautiful. Bye.